Deuce, your thoughts on the Aaron Glenn going to the Jets? You know, and I think he was up on the list for the Saints also, no question about it. You knew him as a player, covering the team, and certainly as an assistant coach. But I want to get your thoughts on Mike McCarthy because, you know, Mike's been in this league a long time. He was with the Saints as an assistant coach and coaching the quarterbacks, offensive coordinator, and worked with Aaron Brooks, Jake Delhomme. Even Mark Bolger was here. Now, Mark didn't stay long here, but then, you know, he had a decent career with the Rams, and he goes on to become the head coach with the Packers and also with the Cowboys. And for a lot of people, man, I hear a lot of negativity about Mike, but my thing is, man, look at his record. Again, playoff record with the Cowboys has not been good, 1-3. But, man, it's hard to win in this league. And when you win 12 games, 3 straight years, I also thought he did a really nice job elevating the play of Dak Prescott at quarterback. And last year, he was winning games with Cooper Rush at quarterback. I thought the biggest hit with him was in the offseason, he lost Dan Quinn, his defensive coordinator. He became the head coach with the Washington Commanders. And Jerry wanted Mike Zimmer. And when Jerry wants something, Jerry gets it. Zimmer becomes the new defensive coordinator, and that team struggled from start to finish on the defensive side of the football. But your thoughts on Mike?
Well, I'll give you AG first. Obviously, I want to congratulate Aaron for taking the job with the Jets team that drafted him. First rounder, played there 8 years, left, became a scout for the Jets as well. And, you know, obviously a lot of people remember him for AG was a teammate of mine. And, you know, AG obviously coached here in New Orleans, but, you know, people feel that he didn't want to come back because of Mickey Loomis. That's not true. But hey, you know, people have their opinion. They can say what they choose. He made a decision that he felt like was best for him. And so, you know, the Saints, obviously he was on the list as far as a coach, but you didn't get a chance to kind of get him in the building again, if that makes sense, after their season was over. And so first for AG, you know, congratulations to him. And, you know, you're happy for him because he was a guy that was eventually going to get that opportunity. And so he got to choose where he wanted to go, and, you know, he chose the Jets. And so for the Saints, having the opportunity to, you know, interview some guys, Mike McCarthy, who I played for as well, so I know Mike really well. And I think a lot of the dislike with Mike is probably the recent bias, or at least the dislike for the Cowboys. But when you look at the book of work, if you put his resume, you put Sean Payton's resume, you put Mike Tomlin's resume, and you take off the names, they're going to be very, very, very similar. All have won a Super Bowl, all have been to multiple playoffs, and, you know, you have success and losses in the playoffs, but all of them have that. And so for me, Mike would be a guy that's high up on the list. I'm not making a decision for the Saints. You know, that's something that they're going to have to do, and they've sat down and they'll interview those guys. They got to find the fit that they feel like is best for this team. You know, and for me, knowing Mike, knowing his system, he's willing and able to change. He is going to, you know, at times he allowed Kellen Moore to call plays. Kellen Moore is now obviously the offensive coordinator, and the Saints have interest in him, offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. Mike has called his own plays. He's done it in Green Bay. He's worked. He did it in San Francisco. He did it in New Orleans, even going back to Kansas City. And so some of the quarterbacks going back, like you talked about, Aaron Brooks, Jake Delhomme, Mark Bolger, even Brett Favre, you know, back up and when he was in Green Bay, even I can't even think, maybe it was Dilfer and he had Hasselbeck. You know, some of the guys that they had all up in Green Bay, and to be able to work with them and have some success. And, you know, he's a good coordinator. He's a good head coach. But like I said, you know, you look at Dallas not being able to win the big game, and, you know, ultimately that's going to fall on Mike. But if you know the team and the structure, you know, Jerry has a lot to do with that as well as far as how it's structured. But at the end of the day, it's about players making plays out on the field.